Have you ever checked your weather app, seen 70% chance of rain, and still gotten soaked? Or wondered whether to take that new job, invest in the market, or trust a medical test result? Every day, we make decisions under uncertainty. We bet on outcomes without knowing for sure. The tool that helps us do this smarter, probability, didn't start in a lab or a classroom. It was born in the smoky back rooms of gamblers, sharpened by letters between geniuses, and eventually became one of the most powerful ideas in human history. Today, we're traveling from ancient dice to modern life, meeting the key players who turned hunches into a science. By the end, you'll see why understanding this history makes you better at navigating the uncertainties of 2026 and beyond. Humans have gambled with chance for thousands of years. Dice in ancient Egypt, Rome, China, and India. But for most of history, people treated outcomes as fate, luck, or the will of the gods. Calculating odds? That was rare. Enter Gerolamo Cardano, 16th century Italian polymath, physician, astrologer, and serious gambler. Around 1564, he wrote a groundbreaking manuscript called Liber de Ludo Alea, the book on games of chance. Cardano did something radical. He started counting. For a fair six-sided die, he realized there are exactly 6 possible outcomes, and only one favorable for rolling a specific number. Probability equals favorable outcomes divided by total possible outcomes. He explored combinations, odds in card games, and even cheating methods. It was the first systematic treatment of probability. But here's the twist. Cardano never published it during his lifetime. The book only appeared in print in 1663, nearly a century later. His ideas stayed hidden while Europe's gamblers kept playing on instinct. History almost missed its first great probability pioneer. The real spark came in 1654 in France. A nobleman and gambler known as the Chevalier de Marais posed a puzzle to the brilliant young mathematician Blaise Pascal. 2 players are competing in a game of chance. First to reach a certain number of points wins the entire pot. The game gets interrupted partway through. How do you fairly divide the stakes based on who's currently ahead? It sounds simple, but no one had a rigorous way to answer it. Intuition failed. Pascal, fascinated, began corresponding with Pierre de Fermat, a lawyer and mathematical genius. They never met in person for these discussions. They exchanged a series of letters over weeks. Pascal approached it with what we'd now call combinations and recursive thinking. Fermat listed every possible future sequence of outcomes and counted the favorable ones. They arrived at the same correct answer through different methods. This correspondence is widely considered the birth of modern probability theory. It transformed probability from gut feeling about dice into a mathematical framework based on equally likely outcomes and counting possibilities. Soon after, Dutch scientist Christiaan Huygens published the first printed book on the subject in 1657, De Ratiocinis in Ludo Alea. He introduced the crucial concept of expected value, the long-run average outcome if you repeat a bet many times. Suddenly, gamblers, and later decision-makers, had a powerful new lens. The 18th century turned probability from a gambling tool into something much bigger. Jacob Bernoulli's masterpiece Ars Conjectandi, The Art of Conjecture, was published in 1713 after his death. His most famous contribution, The Law of Large Numbers. Flip a fair coin 10 times and you might get 7 heads. Flip it 10,000 times and the proportion will get extremely close to 50%. With enough trials, observed frequencies approach true probabilities. This idea underpins all of statistics. Abraham de Moivre developed the normal distribution and approximations that explained why many natural phenomena cluster around an average, the famous bell curve. Thomas Bayes gave us a way to update our beliefs when new evidence arrives, Bayes' theorem. It's the mathematical heart of learning from data. Then came Pierre-Simon Laplace. In his massive 1812 work, Théorie analytique des probabilités, he synthesized everything and applied probability to the real world. Astronomy, demographics, insurance, and even calculating the probability that the sun will rise tomorrow based on all past observations. Laplace had a beautiful line that still resonates. The theory of probabilities is, at bottom, nothing but common sense reduced to calculation. He made probability respectable, no longer just for gamblers, but for understanding the universe and making better societal decisions. For centuries, probability worked well in practice, but lacked ironclad mathematical foundations. That changed in 1933, when Russian mathematician Andrei Kolmogorov published Foundations of the Theory of Probability. Using axioms and the tools of measure theory, Kolmogorov gave probability the same rigorous status as geometry or algebra. This made it possible to apply it confidently to continuous phenomena, quantum mechanics, which is fundamentally probabilistic, and the explosion of data and computing that would follow. So why should any of this matter to you today? Because probability is the hidden operating system of modern life. Insurance and risk. Your premiums are calculated using centuries of data and models descended directly from Bernoulli and Laplace. Actuaries quantify the probability you'll have an accident or get sick. Medicine and testing. When you get a positive result on a screening test, the real probability you have the condition isn't just the test's advertised accuracy. It depends on the base rate in the population. That's Bayes' theorem in action. Misunderstanding it leads to unnecessary anxiety or misdiagnoses. Doctors and patients who think probabilistically make better decisions. Finance and investing. Diversification works because of ideas rooted in the law of large numbers and variance. Expected value helps you evaluate opportunities. What's the probability-weighted outcome of this investment or career move? Modern portfolio theory and risk models, like value at risk, are probability engines. Everyday tools and tech. Weather forecasts, GPS traffic predictions, spam filters, recommendation algorithms on Netflix or Amazon, election forecasts, sports analytics, all run on probabilistic models. AI systems like large language models quantify uncertainty internally to give more reliable answers. Personal decisions. Should you take the side streets or the highway? The app is implicitly using probabilities. Considering a big life change? Thinking in terms of expected value, probability of success times reward minus risks beats pure gut feeling. Though emotions still matter. Even simple habits like wearing sunscreen or saving for retirement are bets against probabilistic risks. Perhaps most importantly, probability history reveals our cognitive blind spots. Humans are terrible at intuitive probability. We fall for the gambler's fallacy. Red is due after a streak of black. Ignore base rates, see patterns in random data, and overestimate rare dramatic risks while underestimating common ones. The mathematicians we met didn't just invent formulas. They gave us a better map for an uncertain world. They showed that while we can't eliminate chance, we can measure it, update our beliefs with evidence, and make decisions with clearer eyes. From Cardano secretly counting dice outcomes, to Pascal and Fermat's letters solving the problem of points, to Bernoulli's law of large numbers, Laplace's common sense reduced to calculation, and Kolmogorov's rigorous foundations, probability grew from a gambler's curiosity into a universal language for dealing with uncertainty. The next time you face a decision with unknown outcomes, and that's basically every day, remember this lineage. Ask, what are the possible outcomes? What are their probabilities? What's the expected value? You don't need to do complex math in your head, but thinking probabilistically, even roughly, is one of the highest leverage upgrades you can make to your decision making. It won't remove risk, but it will make you a far more skillful player in the beautiful, uncertain game of life. Thanks for watching. If this sparked your curiosity, like and subscribe for more deep dives into ideas that shape our world. And next time the weather app says 60% chance of rain, you'll know exactly where that number came from. Stay curious, and may your calculated odds be ever in your favor.